There's something I want you to understand right now, in this very moment. Everything that has ever happened to you, every single experience, every challenge, every seeming setback, every moment of confusion or doubt has been working in your favor. You might not see it yet. You might be sitting there thinking about all the things that went wrong, all the plans that fell apart, all the dreams that seemed to crumble right before your eyes. But I'm telling you with absolute certainty that when you shift the way you look at things, the things you look at shift. Acting as if everything always works out for you isn't about lying to yourself. It's not about pretending that difficulties don't exist or that life doesn't present challenges. It's about understanding a fundamental truth about the universe and your place in it. It's about recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstances, but rather a co-creator of your reality. The moment you begin to act as if everything is conspiring in your favor, something miraculous happens. The universe begins to rearrange itself to match your expectations. Let me tell you what I mean by this. When you wake up in the morning and you automatically assume that things are going to go wrong, what happens? You find evidence everywhere to support that belief. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and you say, "See, I knew today was going to be terrible." Your coffee spills, and you think, "Why does this always happen to me?" You're looking for confirmation of your belief, and the universe is happy to provide it. But here's the thing, the same mechanism works in reverse. When you act as if everything is working out perfectly for you, you start to notice all the ways in which life is supporting you. You see the opportunities instead of the obstacles. You recognize the blessings instead of the burdens. This isn't positive thinking in the shallow sense. This goes much deeper than that. This is about understanding that your thoughts create your reality. Not in some mystical, magical way, but in a very practical, observable way. Your thoughts determine your perception, and your perception determines your experience. If you believe that life is hard and that you have to struggle for everything, then that will be your experience. If you believe that the universe is abundant and that good things flow to you naturally, then that will be your experience. I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're thinking about the real problems you face, the bills that need to be paid, the relationships that are struggling, the health issues you're dealing with, the dreams that seem so far away, and you're wondering how acting as if everything works out could possibly help with any of that. But that's exactly where the power lies. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you stop resisting what is, you stop fighting against reality, and when you stop resisting, you open yourself up to solutions that were there all along, but you couldn't see them because you were too busy being afraid. Fear is the great obstacle. Fear tells you that you need to control everything. Fear tells you that if you don't worry about it, it won't get handled. Fear tells you that optimism is naive and that you need to be realistic. But what fear doesn't tell you is that it's keeping you stuck in the very situations you're trying to escape from. When you operate from fear, you make decisions from a place of lack. You attract more of what you don't want because you're focused on what you don't want. You create a self-fulfilling prophecy of struggle and hardship. Acting as if everything always works out for you is an act of faith, but it's also an act of intelligence. It's intelligent because it allows you to tap into your highest potential. When you're not weighted down by fear and anxiety, your mind works better. You think more clearly. You're more creative. You see possibilities that were invisible to you before. You take actions that are aligned with your desires rather than your fears, and those actions lead to different results. Let me share something with you about trust. Trust is not believing that everything will turn out exactly the way you want it to. Trust is knowing that however things turn out, you'll be okay. Trust is understanding that sometimes what looks like a disaster is actually a doorway to something better. How many times in your life has something not worked out the way you wanted, only to realize later that it was the best thing that could have happened? That relationship that ended opened the door for you to meet someone who was a much better match. That job you didn't get led you to a career path you never would have considered otherwise. That health crisis forced you to make changes that improved your life in ways you never expected. The universe has an intelligence that's far greater than your individual ego mind. Your ego thinks it knows what's best for you. It has a plan, and it wants everything to go according to that plan. But the universe sees the bigger picture. It knows what you truly need, not just what you think you want. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're acknowledging this greater intelligence. You're saying, I trust that there's a wisdom at work here that's beyond my limited understanding, and that trust allows you to relax into life instead of constantly fighting against it. Now, I want to be very clear about something. Acting as if everything always works out for you doesn't mean you become passive. It doesn't mean you sit around and wait for good things to happen. It means you take inspired action. You move forward with confidence, knowing that your actions are supported by the universe. You do your part, and then you trust that the universe will do its part. You plant the seeds, you water them, you give them sunlight, and then you trust that they will grow. You don't dig them up every day to check on them. You don't worry and fret about whether they're growing fast enough. You trust the process. This is where so many people get stuck. They want to control every aspect of the outcome. They want to know exactly how things are going to unfold and exactly when, but that's not how life works. Life is a mystery. It's meant to unfold in ways that surprise and delight us. When you try to control everything, you squeeze out all the magic. You leave no room for serendipity, for synchronicity, for those miraculous moments when the universe delivers something even better than what you had planned. I've learned over the years that the more you try to force things, the more they resist you. But when you relax and allow, when you act as if everything is working out perfectly, things flow, doors open that you didn't even know existed. People show up in your life at exactly the right moment. Resources appear when you need them. It's not magic, although it can feel magical. It's alignment. When you align your thoughts, your beliefs, and your expectations with the abundant nature of the universe, you tap into a flow that's always been there, waiting for you to notice it. Let me tell you about the power of assumption. Whatever you assume to be true becomes true in your experience. If you assume that people are generally good and trustworthy, you'll have experiences that confirm that belief. If you assume that people are out to get you, you'll have experiences that confirm that belief too. Both assumptions create a self-reinforcing cycle. But here's what's really interesting. You get to choose which assumption you make. You get to decide whether you're going to assume the best or assume the worst. And acting as if everything always works out for you is simply choosing to assume the best. Some people think this is naive. They think it's important to be prepared for the worst. But let me ask you something. Has worrying about the worst-case scenario ever actually prevented it from happening? Has anxiety ever solved a single problem? Or has it just made you miserable while you waited to see what would happen? The truth is, worrying doesn't protect you. It doesn't prepare you. It just depletes your energy and robs you of your peace of mind. Acting as if everything works out for you, on the other hand, gives you energy. It fills you with confidence and optimism. And that positive energy actually does help you handle whatever comes your way. Think about a time when you were facing a challenge, but you felt confident that you could handle it. Maybe you didn't know exactly how you were going to handle it, but you just had this inner knowing that you would figure it out. How did that feel? Didn't it feel so much better than being paralyzed by fear and doubt? And didn't that confidence actually help you find solutions? That's what I'm talking about. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you tap into that confidence. You access your inner resources. You become solution-oriented instead of problem-focused. The beautiful thing about this approach to life is that it becomes easier the more you practice it. At first, it might feel like you're faking it. You might have to consciously remind yourself to act as if things are working out. You might catch yourself falling into old patterns of worry and doubt. But every time you catch yourself and choose a different thought, you're rewiring your brain. You're creating new neural pathways. You're training yourself to default to trust instead of fear. And over time, it becomes more natural. It becomes who you are. I want you to understand something about your past. Whatever has happened to you in the past, whatever mistakes you've made, whatever traumas you've experienced, they don't have to define your future. The past is over. It's done. The only power it has over you is the power you give it through your thoughts. When you keep replaying old hurts and disappointments, you're keeping them alive. You're recreating them in your present moment. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, you're making a different choice. You're choosing to focus on possibility instead of limitation. You're choosing to let go of the story that says you're damaged or unlucky or destined to struggle. Let me tell you something about your story. You are the author of your life story. You get to decide what it means. You can interpret your past experiences as evidence that life is hard and unfair, or you can interpret them as lessons that have made you stronger and wiser. Both interpretations are valid. Both are true in their own way, but only one of them serves you. Only one of them empowers you to create a better future. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're choosing the interpretation that serves you. You're choosing to see yourself as someone who overcomes challenges, who learns and grows, who becomes more through every experience. Now, I know that some of you have experienced real trauma, real pain, real loss, and I'm not suggesting that you should just gloss over that or pretend it didn't happen. What I'm suggesting is that you don't have to let those experiences define you. You don't have to carry them around like a heavy burden for the rest of your life. You can acknowledge what happened, you can feel your feelings about it, and then you can make a choice about how you're going to move forward. You can choose to act as if, despite everything that's happened, life is still working out for you. You can choose to believe that even the painful experiences have served a purpose in your growth and evolution. There's a principle in physics that says energy flows where attention goes. Whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you'll see more problems. If you focus on solutions, you'll find more solutions. If you focus on what's wrong with your life, that's what will dominate your experience. But if you focus on what's working, on what's good, on what's possible, that will expand instead. Acting as if everything always works out for you is a way of directing your attention toward what you want to experience more of. It's a way of training your mind to look for the positive, to seek out the good, to notice the ways in which life is supporting you. This doesn't mean you ignore real problems or challenges. It means you approach them from a different mindset. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of thinking this is terrible, you think, how can I use this for my growth? Instead of feeling like a victim, you recognize yourself as a powerful creator who is fully capable of handling whatever comes your way. This shift in perspective changes everything. It changes how you feel, what actions you take, and ultimately what results you create. Let me tell you about the nature of the universe. The universe is not random. It's not chaotic. There's an order to it, an intelligence that permeates everything. Some people call it God, some call it Source, some call it the Tao or universal consciousness. The name doesn't matter. What matters is understanding that you are part of this intelligence. You're not separate from it. You're an expression of it. And because you're an expression of this universal intelligence, you have the same creative power within you. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're aligning yourself with this creative power. You're working with the universe instead of against it. Think about nature for a moment. Everything in nature trusts the process. The acorn doesn't worry about whether it will become an oak tree. It just grows. The caterpillar doesn't doubt that it will become a butterfly. It just transforms. The seasons don't question whether they should change. They just flow from one to the next. Everything in nature operates on trust, on an innate knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. And you are part of nature. You have that same innate wisdom within you. But somewhere along the way, you learn to override it with doubt and fear. Acting as if everything always works out for you is a way of reconnecting with that innate wisdom. It's a way of coming back into alignment with your true nature. I want to talk to you about gratitude for a moment, because gratitude and trust go hand in hand. When you're grateful for what is, you're acknowledging that things are working out for you. You're recognizing the abundance that's already present in your life. And that recognition creates more to be grateful for. Gratitude is a powerful magnet for good things. When you focus on what you appreciate, you attract more experiences that make you feel appreciative. It's a beautiful, self-reinforcing cycle. But it starts with a choice. It starts with deciding to notice what's good instead of fixating on what's lacking. Acting as if everything always works out for you includes being grateful for challenges, because challenges make you stronger. It includes being grateful for disappointments, because disappointments redirect you toward better paths. It includes being grateful for the times when things didn't go according to your plan, because those times taught you flexibility and resilience. When you can find gratitude even in difficulty, you've mastered the art of trusting life. You've understood that it's all working for your benefit, even when it doesn't feel that way in the moment. Let me share something with you about expectations. Your expectations shape your reality in profound ways. If you expect people to disappoint you, they usually will. If you expect opportunities to pass you by, they usually do. But if you expect good things to happen, if you expect people to be kind, if you expect opportunities to come your way, that becomes your experience instead. This isn't because the universe is magically giving you what you expect. It's because your expectations determine what you notice and how you interpret what happens. They also influence your behavior in subtle ways that create self-fulfilling prophecies. When you expect things to work out, you take different actions than when you expect them to fail. You show up differently. You communicate differently. You're more open, more receptive, more willing to take chances. And that openness creates opportunities. Acting as if everything always works out for you is a way of setting a positive expectation. It's a way of priming yourself for success. It's like telling the universe, I'm ready to receive good things. I'm open to miracles. I trust that you've got my back. And when you send out that message, the universe responds. Now, I want to address something that might be coming up for some of you. You might be thinking, but what if I act as if everything works out and then something goes wrong? Won't I be disappointed? And my answer is this. Disappointment comes from rigid attachment to specific outcomes. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're not attached to things happening in a particular way. You're trusting that whatever happens is ultimately for your highest good. So even if something doesn't go the way you hoped, you can still maintain your trust. You can still know that it's working out, even if you can't see how yet. This is about developing a long-term perspective. In the short term, something might look like a failure or a setback, but in the long term, it might be exactly what you needed. The job rejection that felt devastating might have saved you from a toxic work environment. The relationship that ended might have freed you to meet your true partner. The business that failed might have taught you lessons that made your next venture successful. You can't always see the value in the moment, but when you trust that everything is working out, you give yourself permission to wait for the bigger picture to reveal itself. Let me tell you about resistance. Resistance is what happens when you fight against what is. It's the mental and emotional struggle that comes from wanting things to be different than they are. And resistance is exhausting. It drains your energy. It keeps you stuck. Acting as if everything always works out for you is the opposite of resistance. It's acceptance. It's surrender. Not the kind of surrender that means giving up, but the kind that means letting go of the need to control. When you surrender in this way, when you accept what is and trust that it's working out for you, you free up enormous amounts of energy. Energy that you can then use to create, to grow, to take inspired action. Think about water for a moment. Water doesn't resist. When it encounters an obstacle, it flows around it. It finds a way. It doesn't struggle or fight. It just adapts and keeps moving. And eventually, that soft, flowing water can wear down the hardest stone. That's the power of non-resistance. That's what happens when you act as if everything always works out for you. You stop banging your head against walls. You stop trying to force things. You become like water, adapting, flowing, trusting that you'll find your way. I want you to understand something about your worthiness. You don't have to earn the right to have things work out for you. You don't have to be perfect or do everything right or prove yourself in any way. Things working out for you is your natural state. It's your birthright. You are a beloved child of the universe, and the universe wants good things for you. Not because you've earned it, but because that's the nature of the universe. It's abundant, it's generous, it's always creating, always expanding, always moving toward more life, more love, more beauty, more goodness. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're not being arrogant or entitled. You're simply acknowledging your true nature as a creator, as a being of infinite worth and potential. You're stepping into the truth of who you are. And from that place of knowing your worth, from that place of trusting that you deserve good things, you naturally attract better experiences. You make better choices. You tolerate less nonsense. You set better boundaries. You pursue your dreams with more conviction. Everything shifts when you know, really know, that you are worthy of having things work out for you. Let me talk to you about failure for a moment, because the fear of failure stops so many people from acting as if everything works out. They're afraid that if they trust and then things don't work out, they'll have been foolish. They'll have been naive. They'll have set themselves up for disappointment. But here's the truth about failure. There's no such thing. There are only outcomes. Some outcomes teach you what works, and some teach you what doesn't work. Both are valuable. Both move you forward. The only real failure is not trying, not learning, not growing. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you reframe what failure means. It's not a catastrophe. It's not a reflection of your worth. It's just feedback. It's information. It's the universe saying, not that way. Try this way instead. And when you can see failure as feedback rather than as a judgment, you become unstoppable. You try things. You take risks. You put yourself out there. And yes, sometimes things don't work out the way you planned. But you learn from those experiences, you adjust, and you keep moving forward. And that's how success is built, through a series of attempts, adjustments, and forward movement, all supported by the underlying trust that it's all working out for you. Now, I want to address the practical side of this. How do you actually act as if everything always works out for you? What does that look like in daily life? It starts with your thoughts. It starts with noticing when you're in fear or doubt and consciously choosing a different thought. When you catch yourself thinking, this is never going to work, you stop and say, actually, I choose to believe that this is working out perfectly. When you notice yourself worrying about the future, you bring yourself back to the present moment and remind yourself that right now, in this moment, you're okay, everything is okay, and you can trust that it will continue to be okay. It also means watching your language. The words you use shape your reality. If you're constantly saying things like, nothing ever works out for me, or I always get the short end of the stick, or life is so hard, you're reinforcing those beliefs. But if you start saying things like, things always work out for me, or I'm so lucky, or life supports me, you'll start to notice evidence that supports those statements instead. Your language creates your experience, so choose your words carefully. Acting as if everything always works out for you also means taking action even when you're not sure of the outcome. It means saying yes to opportunities that scare you a little bit. It means putting yourself out there even when there's no guarantee of success. It means trusting that even if things don't go exactly as planned, you'll handle it. You'll learn from it. You'll find a way. And that trust gives you the courage to take risks, to be bold, to live fully instead of playing it safe. Let me tell you something about miracles. Miracles aren't violations of natural law. They're expressions of a higher law that we don't fully understand yet. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you open yourself up to miracles. You create space for the unexpected, for the amazing, for the things that can't be explained by logic alone. I've seen it happen countless times. Someone is facing what seems like an impossible situation, but they maintain their trust. They keep acting as if it's all working out. And then something happens. An opportunity appears out of nowhere. A person shows up with exactly what they need. A solution presents itself that they never would have thought of. That's not luck. That's alignment. That's what happens when you're in the flow. I want to talk to you about the present moment, because this is really the only moment that matters. The past is gone. The future hasn't happened yet. All you ever have is right now. And when you act as if everything always works out for you, you bring that trust into this present moment. You don't spend your now worrying about tomorrow. You don't waste your now regretting yesterday. You're fully here, fully present, fully engaged with life as it's happening, and that presence is powerful. It allows you to respond to what's actually happening rather than reacting to what you think might happen or what you wish had happened. When you're present, you notice things you would otherwise miss. You see opportunities. You feel intuitive nudges. You make better decisions. You're more creative. You're more connected to others. You're more alive. And all of that contributes to things working out for you. Because when you're present and alert and open, you're in the best possible position to co-create with the universe. You're not lost in the past or future. You're right here, right now, available for whatever wants to come through you or to you. Let me share something with you about other people. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you inspire others. Your energy is contagious. People feel it. They're drawn to it. They want to be around you because you make them feel hopeful and alive. And that creates a positive feedback loop. The more you trust, the more you attract people and circumstances that validate that trust. You become a magnet for good things. not through manipulation or force, but through the simple power of your expectations and your energy. But here's something important. You can't control other people. You can only control yourself. Sometimes acting as if everything works out for you means letting go of people who don't align with your vision. It means walking away from situations that drain you. It means setting boundaries. It means choosing yourself even when it's hard. Because trusting that things work out for you includes trusting that you'll be guided to the right people and circumstances and away from the wrong ones. It includes trusting that sometimes what looks like a loss is actually a necessary clearing, making space for something better. I want to talk to you about patience. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you develop patience. Not the kind of patience that's really just resignation or passive waiting, but the kind of patience that comes from deep trust. You know things are working out, so you don't need to force them or rush them. You can allow things to unfold in their own time. You understand that there's a gestation period for dreams, just like there's a gestation period for a baby. You can't rush it. You can't force it. You can only trust the process and do your part while the universe does its part. This patience is incredibly freeing. It takes the pressure off. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. You don't have to have achieved all your goals by a certain age. You don't have to compare your timeline to anyone else's. You can relax into the knowing that everything is happening in perfect timing. What's meant for you will come to you. Not necessarily when you want it, but exactly when you're ready for it. And acting as if everything always works out includes trusting that timing. Let me tell you about the power of questions. The questions you ask yourself determine what you focus on and what answers you find. If you ask yourself, why does this always happen to me? You'll find reasons to feel victimized. If you ask yourself, what's wrong with me? You'll find flaws. But if you ask yourself, how is this working out for me? Or what can I learn from this? Or where's the gift in this situation? You'll find different answers. You'll find empowering answers. You'll find answers that help you grow and move forward. Acting as if everything always works out for you includes asking better questions. It includes approaching life with curiosity rather than judgment. Instead of immediately deciding that something is bad or wrong, you ask, what if this is actually perfect? What if this is exactly what I need right now? That simple shift in questioning can reveal insights that were hidden when you were stuck in judgment and resistance. Now, I want to address something that's really important. Acting as if everything always works out for you doesn't mean you never feel negative emotions. It doesn't mean you're always happy and positive. That's not realistic and it's not healthy. What it means is that you don't get stuck in negative emotions. You feel them, you acknowledge them, and then you come back to trust. You might feel disappointed when something doesn't go the way you wanted, but underneath that disappointment, there's still a fundamental trust that it's all working out. You might feel afraid when you're facing uncertainty, but you don't let that fear stop you. You feel it and you move forward anyway, trusting that you'll be okay no matter what happens. This is emotional maturity. It's the ability to hold multiple truths at once. Yes, this situation is challenging, and yes, it's working out for me. Yes, I'm disappointed, and yes, I trust the process. Yes, I don't know what's going to happen, and yes, I believe it will be good. That's the kind of thinking that allows you to navigate life with grace and ease. That's what acting as if everything always works out looks like in practice. Let me tell you about the ripple effect of your trust. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you don't just change your own life, you change the lives of everyone around you. Your children learn to trust life by watching you trust life. Your friends gain courage from your courage. Your colleagues are inspired by your attitude. You become a beacon of hope in a world that often feels dark and uncertain. And that matters more than you know. Every person who learns to trust life creates a ripple effect that touches countless others. Think about the kind of world we could create if more people acted as if everything always works out for them. Think about how different things would be if people made decisions from trust instead of fear. If they took risks instead of playing it safe. If they treated each other with kindness because they believed there was enough for everyone. If they pursued their dreams with the confidence that they were supported by the universe. That's the world that's possible. And it starts with you. It starts with your decision to trust, to act as if, to believe that life is on your side. I want to remind you of something crucial. You are not your thoughts. You are not your circumstances. You are the awareness behind all of that. You are the one who observes your thoughts and chooses which ones to believe. You are the one who experiences circumstances and chooses what they mean. When you understand this, when you really get that you are the creator of your experience, everything changes. You realize that you have power. Not power over external events necessarily, but power over how you respond to them, power over what you focus on, power over the meaning you assign to things. And that power is everything. Acting as if everything always works out for you is an exercise of that power. It's you saying, I choose to interpret my life in a way that empowers me. I choose to believe in possibility rather than limitation. I choose to trust rather than fear. And every time you make that choice, you strengthen that power, you build that muscle, you become more and more the conscious creator of your reality. Let me talk to you about joy. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you become more joyful. Not because your circumstances are perfect, but because you're not in resistance to them. Joy isn't happiness dependent on conditions. Joy is a state of being that comes from alignment with your true nature. It's what emerges when you're not fighting with reality, when you're not consumed by worry, when you're not living in fear. It's your natural state. And acting as if everything works out clears away all the mental and emotional clutter that blocks your joy. It allows you to access that deeper state of well-being that's always there, underneath all the noise. And here's something beautiful. When you're joyful, you're more magnetic. You attract better things. You make better decisions. You're more creative and resourceful. You're healthier. Your relationships improve. Everything gets better when you're in a state of joy. So acting as if everything works out for you isn't just a nice idea. It's a practical strategy for creating a better life. It's one of the most intelligent things you can do. I want you to understand something about deserving. You might have been taught that you have to work hard to deserve good things. You might believe that suffering is noble or that struggle builds character. And while it's true that challenges can make you stronger, it's not true that you have to suffer to be worthy. You are worthy simply because you exist. You are a unique expression of the universe, and there will never be another you. That alone makes you infinitely valuable. You don't have to earn the right to have things work out for you. It's already yours. It's already been given. You just have to accept it. You just have to act as if you believe it. Let me tell you about surrender one more time because it's so important. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means giving in to the flow of life. It means stopping your struggle against what is and allowing yourself to be carried by a current that's much more powerful than you are. Think about swimming in the ocean. If you fight against the waves, you exhaust yourself. But if you relax and let the water support you, you can float effortlessly. That's what surrender feels like. That's what acting as if everything works out feels like. It's a release of tension, a softening, a letting go. And in that surrender, you find your true strength. Because you're no longer wasting energy on resistance. You're no longer depleting yourself with worry and doubt. Instead, you're aligned with the creative power of the universe. You're working with it, not against it. And that alignment gives you access to resources you didn't know you had. Solutions appear, doors open, help arrives, not because you're forcing it, but because you're allowing it. I want to leave you with this final thought. Your life is happening right now, not tomorrow, not someday when conditions are perfect, but right now. And every moment is a choice. You can choose to live in fear, or you can choose to live in trust. You can choose to see yourself as a victim of circumstances, or you can choose to see yourself as a powerful creator. You can choose to focus on what's wrong, or you can choose to focus on what's possible. And when you choose trust, when you act as if everything always works out for you, your entire life transforms. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice. It's something you return to again and again, especially when things get hard. But every time you choose trust over fear, you're building a new way of being. You're creating new neural pathways. You're establishing a new baseline. And over time, trust becomes your default. It becomes who you are. And from that place of trust, anything is possible. Miracles become ordinary. Dreams become reality. And life becomes the adventure it was always meant to be. So start today. Start right now. Look at whatever situation you're facing and ask yourself, what if this is working out perfectly for me? What if this is exactly what I need? and then act as if that's true. Make decisions from that place. Move forward from that place. Live from that place, and watch what happens. Watch how your life transforms when you trust it. Watch how the universe responds when you believe in it. Watch how you become when you remember who you really are, a powerful, creative, beloved being who is fully supported by all of life. Everything is always working out for you. It always has been. It always will be. The question is, will you act as if you believe it? Will you trust it? Will you let go of resistance and surrender to the flow? The choice is yours, and it's the most important choice you'll ever make. Choose trust. Choose faith. Choose to act as if everything always works out for you, and then watch the magic unfold. Something extraordinary is about to happen in your life. Right now, in this very moment, the universe is conspiring on your behalf. You're not reading these words by accident. You're not here by chance. There's a divine intelligence at work, and it's been orchestrating events, moving people, and arranging circumstances to bring you to this exact point in time. If you're seeing this message, if you're hearing these words, it means you're ready. You're ready for the breakthrough you've been praying for. You're ready for the miracle that's been waiting to manifest in your life. You see, most people go through life never understanding that they're not just physical beings having a temporary experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And the moment you truly grasp this, everything changes. Everything. The problems that seemed insurmountable suddenly become opportunities. The obstacles that appeared to block your path suddenly become stepping stones. The pain that you thought would break you suddenly becomes the very thing that makes you stronger than you ever imagined possible. God is about to do something so big in your life that when you look back on this moment, you won't even recognize the person you used to be. But here's what you need to understand. This blessing, this breakthrough, this miracle that's coming your way, it requires something from you. It requires you to shift your thinking. It requires you to change the way you see yourself and the world around you. It requires you to let go of the old stories you've been telling yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. For so long, you've been carrying around beliefs that don't serve you. You've been holding on to fears that keep you small. You've been listening to voices from your past, voices that told you that you weren't good enough, smart enough, talented enough, or worthy enough to receive the abundance that the universe wants to give you. But those voices were wrong. They were always wrong. And today, right now, you're going to make a decision to stop listening to them. The truth is that you were born with everything you need already inside of you. You came into this world with infinite potential, with unlimited possibilities, with a direct connection to the source of all creation. That connection never went away. It's still there. It's always been there, but somewhere along the way, you forgot about it. You got so caught up in the drama of life, in the opinions of others, in the fear and doubt and worry, that you lost touch with the magnificent being that you truly are. God is about to remind you of who you really are. The universe is about to show you what you're truly capable of. And when this happens, when this shift occurs, your entire life is going to transform in ways you can't even conceive of right now. The job you've been hoping for, the relationship you've been praying for, the healing you've been waiting for, the financial breakthrough you've been needing, it's all coming. It's all on its way. But you have to be ready to receive it. And being ready doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean having all your problems solved. It doesn't mean having your life completely together. Being ready simply means being willing. Being willing to see things differently. Being willing to let go of control. Being willing to trust that there's a power greater than your ego, greater than your fears, greater than your circumstances, that's working everything out for your highest good. You know, so many people miss their blessings because they're so busy looking at what's wrong with their life that they can't see what's right. They're so focused on what they don't have that they can't appreciate what they do have. They're so consumed with worry about the future that they can't be present in the now. And the now, this present moment, this is where God works. This is where miracles happen. This is where transformation occurs. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This isn't just a nice saying. This is a fundamental truth about how the universe operates. Your perception creates your reality. The thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, the feelings you cultivate, these aren't just happening inside your head. They're creating the world you experience. They're attracting the people, circumstances, and opportunities that show up in your life. If you want to know what you've been thinking about, look around you. Your life right now is a perfect reflection of your dominant thoughts and beliefs up until this point. But here's the beautiful thing. You can change your thoughts right now. You can shift your beliefs in this very moment. And when you do, when you truly change on the inside, your outside world has no choice but to change as well. God is about to do His big one for you, but you have to be a cooperative component in this process. You have to align yourself with the energy of what you want to receive. You can't pray for abundance and then spend all day thinking about lack. You can't ask for love and then harbor resentment in your heart. You can't desire peace and then fill your mind with worry and fear. There has to be an alignment between what you're asking for and who you're being. And who are you being? That's the question that matters most. Not what do you do, not what do you have, not what have you accomplished, but who are you being in each moment? Are you being someone who trusts the process? Are you being someone who sees challenges as opportunities? Are you being someone who knows, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you are loved, supported, and guided by a benevolent universe? The answer to these questions determines everything. Because you see, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If you want more love in your life, you have to be more loving. If you want more abundance, you have to cultivate a consciousness of abundance. If you want more joy, you have to find reasons to be joyful right now, even before your circumstances change. This is the secret that most people never learn. They spend their whole lives waiting for their ship to come in, not realizing that they never sent one out. They're waiting for God to do something for them, not understanding that God can only do for you what God can do through you. The divine works through willing vessels. It works through people who have prepared themselves to receive. It works through those who have done the inner work of clearing away the blocks to their own awareness of love's presence. And what are those blocks? They're the grievances you're holding on to. They're the judgments you make about yourself and others. They're the fears that keep you playing small. They're the limiting beliefs that tell you that you're separate from the source of all good. These blocks are what stand between you and the life you were meant to live. These blocks are what prevent you from experiencing the miracle that's always available to you. But here's what you need to know. Those blocks aren't real. They're just thoughts. They're just stories. They're just patterns that you learned somewhere along the way. And anything that was learned can be unlearned. Anything that was created can be uncreated. You have the power right now to choose different thoughts, to tell different stories, to create new patterns that actually serve you. God is about to do His big one for you, and part of that big one is showing you that you're more powerful than you ever realized. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're not at the mercy of other people's opinions. You're not stuck where you are. You're a creator. You're a co-creator with the divine. You have the ability to shape your reality with your thoughts, your words, your feelings, and your actions. Think about that for a moment. Really let it sink in. You have the same creative power flowing through you that created the stars, the mountains, the oceans, and everything in existence. That power isn't somewhere out there, it's inside of you. It's who you are at your core. And when you tap into that power, when you align yourself with that creative force, there's nothing you can't do, nothing you can't have, nothing you can't become. But so many people never tap into this power because they're too busy being afraid. They're afraid of failure, they're afraid of success, they're afraid of what other people will think, they're afraid of being disappointed, they're afraid of taking risks, they're afraid of being vulnerable. And so they stay stuck in lives that are smaller than what they were meant for, all because of fear. Fear is just an illusion, it's not real. It's something your ego created to keep you safe, to keep you in your comfort zone, to keep you from growing and expanding and becoming who you're meant to be. But you know what? Your comfort zone is actually the most dangerous place you can be, because when you stay in your comfort zone, you're not growing. And anything that's not growing is dying. God didn't create you to play it safe. The universe didn't bring you into existence so you could hide your light and minimize your gifts and settle for a mediocre life. You were created to shine. You were created to express your unique talents and abilities. You were created to make a contribution that only you can make. And when you do that, when you step into your purpose, when you align with your calling, that's when the magic happens. That's when synchronicities start occurring. That's when doors start opening that you didn't even know existed. This is what's about to happen for you. God is about to open doors that no person can close. The universe is about to bring people into your life who will help you, support you, guide you, and elevate you. Opportunities are about to present themselves that are perfectly aligned with your gifts and your purpose. Resources are about to flow to you from expected and unexpected sources. This is your time. This is your season. This is your moment. But you have to believe it. You have to feel it. You have to know it in your bones. You can't approach this with doubt and skepticism and a "I'll believe it when I see it" attitude. That's backwards. You have to believe it first, and then you'll see it. You have to have faith in what you can't yet see. You have to trust in what hasn't yet manifested. You have to act as if it's already done, because in the spiritual realm, in the realm of infinite possibilities, it already is done. Everything you desire already exists. It exists as a possibility, as a potential, as a probability. Your job isn't to make it happen. Your job is to allow it to happen. Your job is to get yourself out of the way. Your job is to remove the resistance, the doubt, the fear, the unworthiness, and all the other blocks that are preventing you from receiving what's already yours. And how do you remove those blocks? You remove them by becoming aware of them. You remove them by questioning the thoughts and beliefs that create them. You remove them by choosing love over fear, trust over doubt, faith over worry. You remove them by connecting with the part of you that knows the truth, the part of you that's connected to something greater, the part of you that remembers who you really are. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not your struggles. You are not your circumstances. You are a spiritual being with infinite potential and unlimited possibilities. You are an expression of the divine. You are a channel through which love, light, and creativity flow into the world. And when you truly understand this, when you truly embody this, your life becomes a testament to what's possible when you align with your highest self. God is about to do His big one for you because you're finally ready to receive it. You've been through enough. You've struggled enough. You've suffered enough. You've waited long enough. The universe has been preparing you for this moment. Every challenge you've faced, every obstacle you've overcome, every lesson you've learned, it's all been leading you here. It's all been shaping you, molding you, preparing you for the breakthrough that's about to occur. And this breakthrough isn't just about external things. Yes, you might receive the material blessings you've been hoping for. Yes, your circumstances might improve dramatically. Yes, you might experience healings and answered prayers and manifest desires. But the real breakthrough, the big one that God is about to do, is an internal shift. It's a shift in consciousness. It's a shift in how you see yourself and the world. It's a shift from fear to love, from lack to abundance, from separation to connection. This shift is what changes everything. Because when you change on the inside, everything on the outside has to change to match your new vibration. It's a law. It's how the universe works. You are like a radio station, and you're constantly broadcasting a signal. That signal is made up of your thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and expectations. And whatever signal you're sending out is what you're going to receive back. If you're broadcasting lack, you'll receive lack. If you're broadcasting struggle, you'll receive struggle. If you're broadcasting unworthiness, you'll receive experiences that confirm your unworthiness. But if you change your broadcast, if you start sending out signals of abundance, joy, love, and worthiness, then that's what you'll start receiving back. It's that simple. It's that profound. So right now in this moment, what signal are you broadcasting? What thoughts are you thinking? What beliefs are you holding? What stories are you telling yourself about who you are and what's possible for you? Because those thoughts, those beliefs, those stories, they're creating your future right now. They're determining what shows up in your life tomorrow and next week and next year. If you don't like what you've been receiving, then change what you're broadcasting. It's that simple. Stop thinking thoughts that don't serve you. Stop believing beliefs that limit you. Stop telling stories that keep you stuck, and start thinking thoughts of possibility. Start believing in your worthiness. Start telling stories about the amazing life you're creating. God is about to do His big one for you, but you have to do your part. You have to be willing to let go of who you've been so you can become who you're meant to be. You have to be willing to release the old patterns, the old habits, the old ways of thinking and being that have kept you stuck. You have to be willing to step into the unknown, to trust the process, to have faith even when you can't see the full picture. This requires courage. It requires strength. It requires a willingness to be uncomfortable, because growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. Transformation doesn't occur when everything is easy. The caterpillar has to completely dissolve in the cocoon before it can become a butterfly. And right now, you might feel like you're in that dissolving stage. You might feel like everything is falling apart, but it's not falling apart. It's falling together. It's all working out for your highest good, even if you can't see it yet. Trust the timing of your life. Trust the process. Trust that everything is happening exactly as it should. There are no accidents. There are no mistakes. There are no coincidences. Everything is part of the divine plan. Everything is working together to bring about your greatest good. And the sooner you accept this, the sooner you surrender to this, the sooner you stop resisting and start allowing, the sooner you'll experience the breakthrough that's waiting for you. You've been asking for signs. You've been praying for guidance. You've been seeking confirmation that things are going to work out. Well, this is your sign. This is your confirmation. The very fact that you're hearing these words right now is evidence that the universe is responding to your requests. You're not here by accident. You're here because you're ready. You're here because it's time. You're here because God is about to do His big one for you. And what does that look like? It looks different for everyone. For some, it might be a sudden financial windfall. For others, it might be a healing of a relationship. For some, it might be a breakthrough in their career. For others, it might be a healing in their body. But for everyone, it involves a shift in consciousness, a change in perception, a new way of seeing and being in the world. This shift is what opens the floodgates. This shift is what removes the dam that's been holding back your good. This shift is what allows the blessings that have been waiting for you to finally flow into your life. And once this shift occurs, once you truly change on the inside, you'll be amazed at how quickly things change on the outside. Opportunities will start appearing out of nowhere. The right people will show up at the right time. Resources will become available. Solutions to problems that seemed unsolvable will suddenly become clear. Doors that were closed will swing wide open. Things that you've been trying to force will start flowing with ease. This is what happens when you align yourself with the natural flow of the universe. But you can't force this alignment. You can't muscle your way into it. You have to allow it. You have to surrender to it. You have to get your ego out of the way and let your higher self take the lead. Your ego wants to control everything. It wants to know the how and the when and the where. It wants guarantees. It wants certainty. But life doesn't work that way. The universe doesn't operate according to your ego's timeline or your ego's plans. The universe has something far better in store for you than anything your limited human mind could conceive. But you have to be willing to let go of your agenda and trust the divine agenda. You have to be willing to say, okay, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I trust that it will. I don't know when this is going to happen, but I trust the timing. I don't know what the path forward looks like, but I trust that I'll be guided every step of the way. This kind of trust, this kind of surrender, this is what opens you up to receive miracles. This is what allows God to do His big one for you. Because when you're trying to control everything, when you're holding on so tightly to how you think things should be, you're actually blocking the flow. You're actually preventing the very thing you want from coming to you. Think about it like this. If you're holding your hands in tight fists, nothing can come into them. But when you open your hands, when you release your grip, then you're able to receive. The same is true in life. When you release your need to control, when you open yourself up to infinite possibilities, when you trust the process, then you create space for miracles to occur. And miracles are natural. They're not supernatural. They're not reserved for special people or special circumstances. Miracles are simply a shift in perception, a change in how you see things. When you see through the eyes of love instead of the eyes of fear, you see miracles everywhere. When you look for evidence of the universe supporting you instead of evidence of the universe working against you, you find miracles in everything. God is about to do His big one for you, and it starts with you making a decision to see things differently, a decision to believe in possibilities instead of limitations, a decision to trust instead of worry, a decision to love instead of fear, a decision to be grateful for what you have while you're waiting for what you want, a decision to act as if you're already the person you want to become. This last one is crucial. You can't wait until you have everything you want to start being the person you want to be. You have to start being that person now. If you want to be successful, start acting like a successful person now. If you want to be healthy, start making the choices a healthy person would make now. If you want to be loving, start being more loving now. Don't wait for your circumstances to change. Change who you're being, and your circumstances will have no choice but to follow. This is the power you have. This is the creative force that flows through you. This is the divine intelligence that's always available to you. And the more you tap into it, the more you use it, the more you align with it, the more miracles you'll experience. Because you'll realize that you're not waiting for God to do something for you. You're allowing God to do something through you. You are the instrument through which the divine expresses itself in the world. You are the vessel through which miracles flow. You are the channel through which love manifests. And when you truly understand this, when you truly embody this, you stop feeling like a victim and start feeling like the powerful creator you truly are. This is what God is about to show you. This is the big one that's coming. It's not just about getting what you want. It's about realizing who you are. It's about remembering your true nature. It's about reconnecting with the source of all good. And when this happens, when this awakening occurs, everything in your life transforms. You stop seeking approval from others because you know your worth comes from within. You stop comparing yourself to others because you know you're on your own unique path. You stop worrying about the future because you trust that you're always being taken care of. You stop regretting the past because you understand that everything was necessary for your growth. You stop struggling and start flowing. You stop forcing and start allowing. You stop resisting and start accepting. This is the peace that passes all understanding. This is the joy that's not dependent on circumstances. This is the abundance that comes from knowing you're connected to an infinite source. This is what's available to you right now, in this moment, if you're willing to claim it. And how do you claim it? You claim it by choosing it. You claim it by deciding that this is your truth. You claim it by acting as if it's already done. You claim it by being grateful before you see the evidence. You claim it by having faith when everything around you suggests you should have fear. This is the walk of faith. This is what it means to trust the universe. This is what it means to know that God is working on your behalf, even when you can't see it. And this faith, this trust, this knowing, this is what moves mountains. This is what parts seas. This is what creates miracles out of what seemed impossible. You've been praying for a miracle. You've been asking for a breakthrough. You've been waiting for your moment. Well, your prayers have been heard. Your requests have been received. Your moment is now. God is about to do His big one for you. Not because you deserve it, although you do. Not because you've earned it, although you have. But because it's your divine birthright. It's who you are. It's why you're here. You were born for this moment. You were created for this purpose. You were designed to express the fullness of who you are, to share your unique gifts with the world, to make a difference that only you can make. And everything that's about to happen in your life is going to support you in doing exactly that. The breakthrough you're about to experience isn't just for you. It's for everyone whose life you're going to touch. It's for everyone you're going to inspire. It's for everyone who's going to see your transformation and realize that if it's possible for you, it's possible for them too. You're not just changing your own life. You're changing the world by changing yourself. This is the ripple effect of transformation. When one person awakens to their true power, it gives permission for others to do the same. When one person steps into their greatness, it shows others that greatness is available to them too. When one person chooses love over fear, it makes it easier for others to make the same choice. You're not just doing this for yourself, you're doing it for all of us. So step up. Step into who you're meant to be. Stop playing small. Stop hiding your light. Stop waiting for permission. Stop doubting yourself. Stop letting fear run your life. It's time to be bold. It's time to be brave. It's time to be the magnificent being you came here to be. God is about to do His big one for you because you're finally ready to receive it. You're finally willing to do what it takes. You're finally committed to your own growth and evolution. You're finally saying yes to the call that's been echoing in your heart all along. And when you say yes, when you truly say yes with every fiber of your being, the universe responds with a resounding yes in return. Everything you need will be provided. Every door you need to walk through will open. Every person you need to meet will appear. Every lesson you need to learn will present itself. Every resource you need will become available. This is how it works when you align yourself with your purpose, with your calling, with your divine assignment. And your divine assignment isn't something you have to figure out or search for. It's already within you. It's been there all along. It's the thing that lights you up, that makes you come alive, that feels like it's what you were born to do. And when you start moving in that direction, when you start taking steps toward that calling, that's when the magic happens. That's when God does his big one. So listen to that inner voice. Trust that inner knowing. Follow that inner guidance. It's not leading you astray. It's leading you exactly where you need to go. And yes, it might be scary. Yes, it might be uncomfortable. Yes, you might not be able to see the whole path. But you don't need to see the whole path. You just need to take the next step, and then the next one, and then the next one. One step at a time, one day at a time, trusting that each step is taking you closer to your destiny. This is your time, this is your season, this is your moment to shine. Don't let another day go by living less than the life you were meant to live. Don't let another moment pass feeling stuck or small or unworthy. You are worthy. You are enough. You are loved beyond measure. And you are about to see evidence of that love in ways that will blow your mind. Get ready. Open your heart. Open your mind. Open your hands to receive. Because what's coming for you is bigger than anything you've experienced before. What's about to happen in your life is going to exceed your expectations and surpass your wildest dreams. What God is about to do for you, through you, and as you is going to be a testimony to the power that's available when you align yourself with your true nature. You are not separate from this power. You are this power. You are not disconnected from the source. You are an extension of the source. You are not alone in this experience. You are supported by the entire universe. And when you truly grasp this, when you truly live from this place of knowing, there's nothing you can't do, nothing you can't have, nothing you can't be. This is your truth. This is your reality. This is what you're about to experience. God is doing his big one for you right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not someday in the future. Right now. In this moment. As you hear these words, as you feel these feelings, as you open yourself to receive, it's happening. The shift is occurring. The breakthrough is manifesting. The miracle is unfolding. And all you have to do is say yes. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to your dreams. Say yes to your purpose. Say yes to the life that's calling you. Say yes to the person you're becoming. Say yes to the blessings that are flowing to you. Say yes and watch what happens. Say yes and prepare to be amazed. Say yes and get ready for the ride of your life. Because when God does his big one, when the universe delivers its miracles, when the infinite becomes manifest in your finite world, it's always bigger and better and more beautiful than you could have imagined. So stop imagining. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop limiting what's possible with your human thinking. And just be open. Be receptive. Be willing. Be ready. You're not seeing this by accident. You're here for a reason. And that reason is to remind you that you're loved, you're supported, you're guided, and you're about to experience something amazing. Trust it, believe it, know it, and watch as your life transforms before your very eyes. This is your moment. This is your miracle. This is your big one. And it starts right now.